Hi, this is Melissa Honeybee Vasey for Y.U.L Radio, and I am here in Woodbridge, Toronto with repping
Woodbridge?
Woodbridge.
Put your dubs for the
Three amazing people in the music industry. I'm going to introduce the lady first, Miss Divine Brown.
What's up?
R&B singer extraordinaire. And also the Rezza brothers, producers extraordinaire.
Wow.
And yes, and they are doing really, really, really big things. So let's start with Divine and just tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a bit about what you're doing right now.
All right. Well, I am an R&B, soul, pop songstress. I've been singing for like all my life, and right about now I am working on finishing up my third project. It's called Something Fresh, and the single Gone, which is the first single off of the record, which is produced by the Rezza brothers, and yeah, so I'm really excited about it, and we're we're about 90% of the way there with the record.
Amazing. And tell Y.U.L Radio who you're signed to.
I am a recording artist with Universal Music Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so the Rezza brothers, you guys have produced 8 tracks on her
eight tracks on the album. Yeah.
on the album. And so how did the collaboration come about? So how did you guys first start working together?
We kidnapped Divine. We saw her on the streets. Chloroform.
We
saw
her and we said,
"Who is this?
You know,
Soul goddess." No, what happened was, I'm like, "Does this smell like chloroform?" 7 months later, 8 songs. It's like,
all true. It's all
actually
true.
gotta give him the rest.
Divine lives in the basement in the Cantino. Italians call the cold cellar the cantina. We have her locked.
No, we've always crossed paths over the years, and it was always like, hey and bye and hello and goodbye, and we never actually. And Adrian and I have always been fans of Divine, like for years now. She is probably my top, like not just because we're working with Divine and we consider her family now, but she's probably like right on the top of vocalists out there that I compare with Aretha Franklin's and Mary J's and these type of artists.
So sweet. I'll
Thank
give
you.
you a check later.
Thank you, baby. Ka-ching.
I just want to. I just want to kiss on the cheek.
And
I'm a cheap date.
you know, and Ivan A&R at Universal's
Big
is
eyes.
a mutual friend of all of us. Said, listen, Divine's back on Universal. We're doing this project, and I want you guys to kind of connect. I think it'd be a really good thing. And it just, like, the first night was just like everything clicked.
It was a blessing, really. Like, not to sound corny or anything now. Like, all jokes aside, it really was a blessing. Like, who would have thought? Like, back in November, December, when Ives and came here and brought Divine here, like, we didn't think that we would be like, so deep into this album. And it truly is a blessing because this is our first love, R&B and soul, and it's just, and there's pop elements to the album as well. But it's just, Divine is just, I think she's your favorite singer's favorite singer. You know what I mean? She's just.
I love that.
Yeah, she's just. She really is. She's just amazing.
Is there any collabs on the album at all? Or is it just you?
Well, no, it's me, but Adrian and I actually did a duet on the record, which is really cool. I was like, I remember hearing him sing, thinking, listen, you and I have to do a song together because we just had like such a lot of money. But it just needed to happen because his voice and my voice seemed to gel really, really well together. So it was really cool to kind of to drop that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So when is the album supposed to come out?
It's supposed to come out like probably mid-fall, and I don't know, like, cause we've been pushing it back to make sure that it's right, and it's great because everybody at Universal's really, they're very, very into the project, and we just want to make sure that we got all the elements that we need,
Of course.
to make it a smash.
Start our P's and Q's.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Adrian Lucas, tell me about a little bit about who else you've worked with, the people you've produced for in the past.
Mostly Italian polka, being Italian.
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard some.
That.
It's really crazy, and the dances that go along with it.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff actually. Atlanta's one of Atlanta's mayors, Bone Crusher. We've done a lot of stuff with Bone.
There you go.
And actually, Divine has done stuff with Bone. Bone came here and.
So, do you remember the chorus? On a midnight.
Try to Georgia. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Bone has been here and love Divine's voice because Bone comes from the South and he understands real music. So he was just like, he heard Divine, was like, oh my God, who is this?
And all you people from Georgia ATL, listen, go to Buckhead, go to Bone Crushers, Weave, and Hair Emporium.
Yeah.
The best place for your nails, for your weaves. Bone Crusher, man, I gotta get a cut now, 10%.
Yeah.
So get my nails done, Bone.
Yeah, but we've done stuff with Bone and a bunch of other artists in ATL. We've done Obi Trice. Shout out to Obi out in Detroit. What else? Commodores, the legendary Motown Commodores. We're working on a new album with them, which is amazing because they're legends that I grew up listening to and my parents grew up listening to. So to work with them is pretty humbling.
But if I could, bring back
a bunch of people,
but really and again, not because Divine's standing here.
Yeah.
I don't know. This has just been such a fantastic journey. This is gonna be when all is said and done. When we're old and gray, I know we're always going to look fondly upon this, and I hope that this is just not
the beginning.
I hope this is just to be. I know that it is in my heart of hearts with Divine, even just as a partnership to do, even if it's not Divine's, album, but to work with other artists and stuff, and us as kind of like a trio, because it really is like my brother and I obviously are blood brothers. I mean, I think we are anyway.
I met him 5 minutes
But no,
before
with Divine, we really it just feels natural. I really do feel like we're with a sister right here.
Yeah,
and that's how it should be. I
that's
think,
what it
right?
felt like from
that's
the
how
beginning.
you get the best results in the studio. I would think, right?
Yeah.
That
A
chemistry.
very good-looking sister.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I think the only problem I had, to be honest, was I have too much of a high. I mean, I had a very high tolerance. Not high expectations of vocally of a singer. Now it's like to the power of
well,
10.
Divine, you are amazing, and I heard Gone, and it's a smash.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, all three of you.
Thank you so much.
So you have people in the studio and it's like in my head and they're singing and you're like, that's not Divine.
Oh my gosh.
Did I say that out loud? No, what I mean is because Divine's a real musician.
Yeah.
She has worked and owned her craft.
She's your favorite singer's favorite singer.
Yeah,
No, but you know what I'm saying?
oh, it's true. I mean, from the perspective to just not even defend myself, but I did, I grew up, I played in an umpteen amount of bands, and I gigged my way to making developing my voice, whereas some people kind of get thrown out there and then that's it. I had a lot of experience under my belt that comes through musical theater and just gigging with different bands and trying out different styles of music. And
now, Divine, is that your birth name for those who don't know you?
no,
Okay.
Goddess.
originally,
Where did Divine?
it was
Goddess.
We
Goddess.
want to know
Goddess.
where Divine, how Divine came about.
Divine, I went by the I was Divine Earth Essence when I first started in the business, first started recording, and that was sort of for anybody that's Nation of Gods and Earth 5%er kind of relationship, but it also the Earth Essence kind of came from having having a child. Because I have one daughter, I'm a single mom, and at that I felt very much like a real connection to the earth, because as women we are the channel for life to be brought into existence, and we sustain life through nurturing our children, and that's very much the same principle that the earth kind of does. My influences, oh geez, there are so many, but people like Minnie Riperton and Aretha Franklin, and right at the top of the list, Shaka Khan.
Some of the ladies on the
What female singer?
We're gonna show the studio in a while for you guys. You'll see everyone on the wall, but go.
Yeah, it's all good. What singer hasn't been influenced by Shaka Khan and her power?
Absolutely.
It's a huge mishmash of artists that I've been influenced by. But how Brown came into play is that my last name is actually Brown, so. After a while, and when I first was signed with my first album deal, I dropped the Earth Essence and went with Divine, because I wanted to kind of bring my family into it, because I'm really, really proud of the Browns. Big up to the Browns. Yes, big up to the Browns.
And this is a very difficult, this is a very difficult profession. And so do you find that your family was very supportive, obviously, of your
Actually,
Or,
to be honest, my father would have preferred that I became a nurse or a doctor or something like that. But because he didn't understand it, you know, it's a tough business to make, you know, to make a living from. But I found a way to do it, and I found a way to do it because I really believed in myself. I believed that I had something different and unique to offer. And so as I started to make strides, and my father really started to kind of say, okay, and he accepted it, you know, especially once the first album dropped and he saw how well it did here. He was, you know, my whole family, you know, for the most part, they've been pretty supportive.
I think when they see that you're doing really well, then it's kind of they
they switch
around.
up. It's, you know, it's difficult, and I get it. Like, because I have a child now, like, I wonder about that too. But I have a wealth of knowledge to offer her, to make it a lot, for her to understand that it doesn't have to be a difficult process.
She's like, she told me the other day she wants her daughter to be a doctor or a nurse.
I didn't say that.
I'm joking.
I didn't say that. She knows that. I'm very supportive.
I'm
She
joking.
just got
She's
that.
amazing.
I'm joking.
Honestly, like,
I'm just being silly.
She's 13. She's turning like 14 in a couple months, and you know, I just picked her up from camp, and she went to an arts camp in upstate New York, and she had like the most phenomenal time. But I think it solidified for her what's already naturally in her, because both she gets music from both her father and myself, and but a lot of this sort of influence comes from me. So that natural thing is there, and that natural drive and determination is kind of there to be somewhat involved. But I think she wants to get more into like musical, really focus more into musical theater, because you get to do a little bit of everything: dancing, singing,
cool.
acting.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Rezza Brothers, who are your influences and in the producing world? You guys sang, first of all. You guys sang before you started.
Yeah, we were
producing behind the
artists.
scenes,
We were
right?
artists first. We were actually a trio.
Yeah.
I could bring in the third member here.
Oh, we gotta put the James
We have
Brown.
to bring
James!
James
How
makes
you
it
doing, James?
sit on my lap here, you know.
James.
We love you.
Well, I won't do that again. Last time I did that, power went out in the studio. We're going to be very careful of what we do with Mr. Brown.
But we did start as artists, and I mean, we'll always be artists, but the thing is, it's kind of like stepping back and being producers and writers. We like so many genres of music and so many styles, and we love hip hop, you know, but the thing with stepping back and taking a back seat and being behind the scenes, it's kind of like, you know, a movie producer, a movie director. You don't have to be a gangster, a mafioso to make a movie like Goodfellas or to make a Godfather. And so by us stepping back, we can do records that maybe necessarily we wouldn't be able to pull off ourselves, not because we can't do it talent-wise, but it just because, you know, I mean, I don't want to be physically singing about something that I didn't live through, because I would feel kind of corny singing it knowing that I really didn't live that type of a life. But you perhaps went through something like that, but they might not be the best writer, but they're a great performer, and help them to mold it. My brother, especially my brother's the main guy with the, you know, with the musical side, with the instrumentation. I'm more the singer-songwriter. So, you know, it's kind of cool. But then again, like Divine, like, it's such a treat, that, like, really an honor. And again, I use the honor in the most the word honor in the most sincerest ways. But then she asked us to sing, you know, on the album as a duet. So, you know, we still kind of, that fulfillment to be an artist still is kind of there, because we have, you know, these rare opportunities and treats like Divine asking us to jump on. And when we go to Atlanta, we went to.
Well, you're Italian.
Yeah,
Of course.
We're Italians.
We went to Atlanta, and
we went to
Crenshaw goes,
Golden
"Wait."
Corral.
We went to Golden Corral. Like, y'all want to go to the pizza
I
joint?
love Golden
Y'all
Corral.
want to go to Golden Corral? We went to Golden Corral.
But, you know, like, producer-wise for me, like, being the instrument
Yeah.
guy, I think if I had to say, like, hip-hop producers, I would say, like, you know, Dr. Dre's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just because his kick can, like, it's just like, it goes through the insides of your core.
Yeah.
And you don't know how he does it. I mean, I've learned, you know, kind of like hearing his stuff, but you can just feel it. It just hits you, you know. But then going back, like, you know, HDH, like Hollandos or Holland, like Motown, Muscle Shoals,
all the stacks.
the Stax guys, you know, that kind of stuff for me, and what I try to bring musically into even some of the Divine stuff that we've done, is bring that in your face Dre kick and snare, you know, and then add in some of that
Soulful
Stacked
musicality.
Records,
Motown.
you know, that kind of swing where it was that pocket of how they did it back then. It was the musicians back then that like listened in a back alley, went home and mastered that, and then some other guy was listening to him mastering it and mastered it from him.
Yeah.
And like Clyde Stubberfield, who I've had the honor of meeting a few times, and he told me he learned everything like that, and he's the most sampled drummer.
Thank you all so much for
Thank you.
taking
Thank
the time
you.
out to conduct this interview for
Thank
Y.U.L
you.
Radio. And also, I don't know, do you want to show around
Sure.
Sure.
the studio?
And Bone, I want 10%, man. I was plugging your business. I want 10% of the money. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I'll show you the booth if you come all the way over here. We'll give you the wall here. This is
the wall of
the
fame.
essence of this wall. I don't know if I have another light. Maybe if I keep this room. But the essence of this wall is kind of like you're going into the vocal booth. So this is kind of the homage to go in there and do the best you can. This is the inspiration wall. So anything from Rick James's Red Boots to the original Kool and the Gang record when they were just an instrumental band, pure instrumental, no vocals, to the classic Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, all the way to Elvis, to Roy Orbison, to Luciano Pavarotti, Aretha Franklin, you name it. You know, Stevie Wonder, the whole
Divine's
nine.
vinyl is going to be up.
Divine's vinyl will be up here too. And then, you know, if you come around here, this is where the magic happens, where Divine lays her beautiful vocals down. I got my beautiful Neumann microphone, which I love, and this room you could shoot off a bullet, you wouldn't hear anything, so that's a good thing.
We're Italian, and sometimes we got.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta rub people out,
Sometimes people gotta swim.
They haven't paid the studio bill, you know. But yeah, so this is the Mighty James. He is our inspiration. Sometimes I find myself down here with him, having a nice glass of Chardonnay, and we discuss the history of music. This is my little. This is where I work. My keyboard here, my Yamaha. Shout out to Yamaha.
Thank you guys so much again for coming to be interviewed for Y.U.L Radio. We appreciate it, and for having me interview you. It's such an honor, and we look forward to having
Thank you so much.
So you guys look out for Divine Brown, the Rezza Brothers, everything they have going on. This is Melissa Honeybee Basie for Y.U.L Radio.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Okay.
Amazing.